If someone is listening to us right now with a big idea and zero experience, advice that you give them?
Just do it.
Was there a moment where you really want to walk away and do something else?
I would say there's been a few of those nights. It's really hard to work with friends.
Would you rather not be a CEO?
No.
Bueno, saludos familia, bienvenidos una vez más a Carbon Concept Podcast. Hoy, como pueden ver, estamos muy lejos de PR. Tuvimos que coger un par de aviones, nos cancelaron uno. Fue una experiencia grande, pero estamos aquí. Lo que vamos a estar viendo es una compañía grande que trabaja como pueden ver, aquí atrás tenemos el bonete de unos cajos más rápidos del mundo. Trabajan con compañías de aviones y etcétera. Acuérdate de darle like, comentar, suscribirte y la entrevista va a ser en inglés, so usen la inteligencia artificial y vayan al clic y te transfiere el idioma. So, alright, so welcome to everybody. We're doing a podcast here in Seattle. We're kind of far from home, you know, but we made it happen somehow. So remember to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below. Welcome and
Thank you.
it's a pleasure to me, for real, to have you here.
Awesome.
To be here, because
Yeah, it's a long ways from home. It's so awesome that you were able to come up and join us.
Yeah. So how you feel?
Settling into the day. Running a business takes a lot out of you. I have two under two as well. So being a mom of two and a mom of 35 here at the business is
cool.
It's a lot, but it's fun, and each day brings new challenges, so keeps you on your toes.
It's amazing how you can manage all those people as a woman, though. I'm not saying like a woman can't, but in this environment from carbon fiber, you don't see a lot.
No,
at
definitely
least
not.
In my opinion.
No, I would agree with that. And even rolling back to college, there was 2 females in my 60-person materials engineering program. So it's sort of par for the course. I think, for me, I grew up with brothers, and it made it easier to just be a part of the guys. It wasn't anything different than having a conversation with,
cool.
Yeah. So.
One word, can you describe me who is Anne Monjoy?
That's a tricky question. Let's see here. I would say capable would be my word of choice if I had to pick one.
Okay.
Entrepreneur, mother, driven individual that takes challenges as they come, and you have to pivot and be ready and be very patient while you're moving through the world, because you never know what challenges are gonna come up.
It's crazy. I agree with that. I can see you doing it. So what was the one big dream in childhood that fueled your early ambitions?
I, as a kid, wanted to explore, it's going to sound silly, but explore new horizons. Whether that was one week I wanted to be an astronaut or an architect designing the next big building, to, in the end, being a materials engineer and coming up with what's the next material that everybody's going to be using in the future, and looking at trying to innovate, even from, a really early age. That was always a goal of mine in every endeavor.
Your father has like a boat, like made boats or something like that?
Yeah.
So you started working with material very young.
Yeah, super early. So my brother and my dad own a boat company called Fluid Motion. They have different lines of boats, all locally up here. And it's a classic fiberglass boat shop. Chopper gun, fiberglass, rolling it out, wet layup. And so I was always around the materials and the entrepreneurship. But always wanted to innovate on that. And, you know, carbon fiber obviously is the next step from fiberglass. Well, maybe a few steps beyond fiberglass.
I agree.
But the innovating the process and, you know, coming up with new ways of doing things is, you know, always kind of been my goal and what Common Fibers has been able to do.
So what is Common Fibers and what meant for you?
So for us, we started Common Fibers, and I mean, it's even in the name. We wanted to make carbon fiber and composites more common or more accessible. That, you know, even on our Instagram channel, like people ask us questions and we'll respond and we'll give them our feedback on designs or manufacturing or, you know, it's not just a closed door. I feel like composites is very hush hush, like this is how we do it. We're not going to tell anybody else how to do it. And I don't think as an industry we grow together. Yeah. It's everyone's out to fend for themselves and try to do it themselves. And so when we started this business, we wanted to not only innovate, but also expand everybody's understanding of what carbon fiber is and how to use it and where to get it. And, you know, can we help you in any sort of way? So that's where the common part of Common Fibers came from, was just trying to expand the industry and help others.
I agree with that. I think about what you said, like the community doesn't want to share info. Mm-hmm. I would say that's more as a human being. It's something about their ego.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, everything you've been through in life, mm-hmm. either way, good or bad, you gotta do some inner work. Mm-hmm. To be able to recognize something about you or your ego, whatever, you gotta let it go and move forward. Mm-hmm. So that's a big step I think the human being doesn't do as mm-hmm. much. So I would like to, you know, share and have more people. But where I live, it's a lot of ego and all of that, so, and hate, and mm-hmm. I don't want to do that. So I stick with it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's the world we live in. But if we can all make it a better place, and
yes, that's what I'm trying to do.
Be supportive. Let's do it. Yeah, exactly. Leave some good behind.
So take us back to the beginning. How was your first encounter with carbon fiber, the material?
So growing up in I guess my dad, growing up raced vintage Formula One cars, that, you know, were aluminum and magnesium and metals in general. And then as, you know, a kid just walking around, you see different eras of different cars, being made out of different things. And, the first time I saw carbon fiber was on a, you know, new Formula One car. And it was just, you know, amazing. They had, a fairing off and different people were like being able to pick it up and like feel the weight. It was cracked or damaged. So they weren't going to put it back on the car. Okay. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so light. This is so amazing. And then, in college, we were on, Gabe and I, who started Common Fibers, were on the super mileage SAE team, at Cal Poly. And, we built super efficient, vehicles. They were more like pods. The car itself weighed about 75 pounds. I could carry it around. Okay. And it was entirely carbon fiber. So that was my first like real hands-on experience with it, making molds, doing infusions, you know, putting bonding and joining and drilling, and the lovely itch of carbon fiber was first learned in college, doing those super mileage cars.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So beyond the day-to-day task, what is the North Star or a deeper purpose behind what you do?
I would say inspiring other people to look outside the box. That, you know, anyone who I talk to, I want to help be a better person. Whether that's leaving 5 minutes early to pick up their kids from school and have that 5 minutes of extra time with them. Like, it can be really little things that do a lot for our employees. But even for our community on Instagram of, can I save somebody time? Can I make this an easier thing for them to do? Can I make carbon fiber more accessible for them? Can I make a car more efficient so that, you know, it doesn't cost as much in gas? Like, there's so many ways that you can, you know, every day have a smile, show some people respect and patience, and just leave them with a better feeling than when they started, when they approached you. You know, were they having a bad day and they just needed someone to smile at them and say, hi, how are you doing? You're good? Yep. Okay, great. That makes someone feel really good. And having that recognition that somebody else is there for you.
Because I feel the same thing, and I think the same. So this is my purpose, trying to help people become better. So
and I think that looks different for everyone that you encounter. So I don't have a singular really goal in mind with that, other than helping, you know, everyone who comes in, just leaving them in a better place than when they started. And that can be all kinds of different things.
So looking back at your journey, what quality in yourself are you most proud of cultivating?
I would say patience.
Yeah.
I think it's the most.
That's the key.
I think it's the most applicable to all facets of my life, of everybody's life, and it can lead to, you know, all kinds of betterment. That if you're patient in what you're learning, you'll get through it better. If you're patient with an employee or your daughter or your son, showing them that compassion by just taking a second and having a little bit of extra patience goes a long ways. And it's a journey. I don't always have it, but it's definitely that is the word that I most associate with myself and growth.
A lot of people don't know how to have patience. They want everything quick.
Yeah.
And working with carbon fiber, you gotta have a lot of patience. Right?
Yes, you do.
So yep. You're gonna skip nothing. Okay? So was being an entrepreneur is always the plan, or the company almost made out of accidents?
I have never thought of it as an accident, but kind of. We, in college, Gabe had a senior project building wildland firefighting backpacks. So they needed to be lightweight and flame retardant. And we, after building the super mileage cars, knew about carbon fiber. And so we're like, okay, well, can we make a carbon fiber backpack frame that can withstand the temperature and be light, so somebody running through the woods away from a fire can, you know, have a higher possibility of escape, basically. And in doing that, we were burning our carbon fiber samples to try to get them to be flexible again. And in doing so, realized that we could be very intentional in where we made things flexible, and created a carbon fiber hinge. So the business started by accident in literally taking like an acetylene torch and like torching our carbon fiber and realizing that it bent. And then it more intentional of, okay, what can we do with this? You know, being poor college students at the time, it was like, okay, how can we make a sunglass case or an iPad cover, like one of those folding iPad covers? We made this carbon fiber hinge and decided that we could make a business surrounding this hinge, and nobody had done it before. And we were thinking, big picture, like, okay, can we make wheelchair ramps? Could we make deployable shelters for the military? Could we, make a laptop case that has the hinge? And we didn't know how to do that. Like, how do we get this idea and this technology out into the world? I don't know. But at the time, the end of 2013, Kickstarter was all the rage. And so we decided to launch on Kickstarter with a carbon fiber wallet, so that it was a small, tangible example that somebody could look at and be like, oh, okay, I understand what this carbon fiber hinge is. Most people, one, don't know what carbon fiber is, and two, when they picture a hinge, they think of like a door hinge. So being able to combine those things into something that someone understands, like a wallet, everyone carries a wallet around, was our like marketing plan for getting this technology out into the world. So we launched on Kickstarter. We sold 3,000 wallets in a month, raised $165,000, and that's what started Common Fibers. We, after Kickstarter, had to make 3,000 wallets to give to all of our backers. And we became a lifestyle brand, making wallets and different accessories. We're all engineers. That wasn't the end goal. The goal was to get these wallets out, and maybe some engineer at Boeing or Tesla or wherever would like, oh, hey, I could use this for, something else. So yes, Common Fibers was started by accident, and then it became more and more intentional as we went.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's impressive how you guys like do it with a fire and all that, and came with a hinge.
Yeah.
For me, blow my mind. Like, it's beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
And with the person that you love.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening to us right now with a big idea and zero experience, what was the first real world advice that you give them?
Just do it. Nike.
Yeah.
It's true. It's just take the leap and try. That I think not living life with any regrets and just making the effort to try. Take a first small step. It doesn't have to be 0 to I have $100 million company. That's a once in a lifetime type of opportunity that comes along. But hey, I want to make this one thing and post it on Instagram or YouTube and see if anybody is interested in it, or take it down to your local automotive shop, or whatever the thing that somebody wants to do is. There's always a small step that you can take, and you just have to start. That's the hardest part, is the paralysis from analysis, as we like to say, that you just think about it so long that it just never happens, right? And you got to take that first little step.
I was doing a video with him in the car yesterday, something about that, because what I'm doing this podcast, so I'm doing another video like blog explaining like how you go for your dreams, how you do it, explaining everything, the feelings. Like you don't have to wait to have the best lights, the best camera, the best microphone, because you're never gonna start like that,
right? Exactly.
So you gotta go for it. So we yesterday recorded a video doing that.
Perfect. Well, good. I'm glad I could echo your sentiment, but just.
What was there a specific moment or project that you were, wait, I'm really good at this?
Yeah, I think so. After the wallets, we transitioned into like doing custom one-off things that either friends from college or local race teams wanted one of something. And, we're really good at figuring out how to make one of something. We said yes to everything for years, of just like, we'll take it on. Like, this is how we grow. This is how we learn how to do things. And I think when So one of our big customers is SSC North America.
Yeah.
They build the Tuatara. When they reached out asking for us to quote their entire car, I think was the moment that for us was like, this happened really fast, that we weren't expecting to build a supercar so quickly. And yeah, we are the experts, or I mean, there's everyone who has more experience that we can learn from, but we are the experts, and we can help design and build a supercar. And that, I think, was the moment that I realized that like we can do this, and this is
supposed to feel really awesome when someone like those important call you for that.
Yeah, it was
mind-blowing.
It was mind-blowing. Yeah, no, I don't have the word for it, because it was just so, it was so amazing, and it was exciting and such a cool project, and being able to work on a supercar is just something that we didn't think we would get to do.
And you guys started doing the monocoque for the car?
Mm-hmm.
And then what are the challenges for maintaining the chassis rigidity at those speeds?
Well, so we didn't do any design work as far as the structure of the chassis. We got the specification from a chassis designer through SSC that we build. The challenge of something as complex as that is not only the processing parameters of the prepreg, but also temperature requirements and cosmetic requirements. Not only does it need to perform, it also needs to look pretty. So the challenges of making a part like that is not only do we need to be reaching specific mechanical properties of stiffness and strength, we also need temperature requirements, because the rear portion of the chassis is the engine bay. And then 3 is the cosmetics of that part. So usually you can have 2 of those things, that you have high temp and high mechanicals, or high mechanicals and pretty parts. We had to figure out a process for having all 3 of those. And so that was the biggest challenge that we faced, was being able to hit all of those 3 right off the bat. That they wanted to have a fully cosmetic chassis for chassis number 1. And so that was a fun challenge, but definitely took some iteration to figure out. The processing of higher temperature prepregs usually leads to less cosmetic parts. So figuring out the nuance to be able to get all 3 was a challenge, but a good one.
I looked a picture of the car and it looks super dope.
Yeah.
I love the chassis and carbon.
Yep. Everything about the car is really sweet. And it's almost entirely carbon fiber. I think we build just over 100 parts to build the entire car. Yeah, to build one.
Yeah. And the chassis is like one piece?
The chassis is 11 pieces bonded together to make the monocoque. I think it's about 11 pieces.
We all have those dark nights of the soul. Was there a moment where you really want to walk away and do something else?
I would say there's been a few of those nights, and for very different reasons. I think coming up with the right team, so us as owners also feel supported by our employees, it was a big challenge, I would say, more recently, of the beauty of being an owner of your business is that you can make decisions, and that leads to also all of the responsibility being on you. but you also don't necessarily feel supported. That, you know, having a boss that can support you in your decision making or support you in your personal endeavors. We don't have that, right? We're at the top. So where does that come from? And that can feel really lonely. We've worked really hard over the last couple of years to create that team of leads or managers here that help us in that decision making and make us feel more a part of our team and feel supported. So I think, you know, personnel is definitely one of the dark nights that, you know, COVID was also a challenge that, you know, our customers weren't critical in the lifeline of, you know, it's not like we're making, at the time, we weren't making medical devices, we weren't making, you know, essential equipment. So figuring out how to weather, just like everybody had to figure it out during COVID. But, you know, do we have in 2 months, will we have a business? Because we can't have our employees in, we can't build parts, we can't, you know, do anything. Was definitely a moment of like, well, do we just go get other jobs while we can't do anything? You know, I think there's just, being a business owner, there's a lot of responsibility that can be overwhelming. And I don't think those dark nights necessarily lead to me feeling like we should do something else all the time, but that we should change something. You know, luckily I have Gabe as my business partner and life partner, that we can rely on each other to get through those overwhelming times. That, you know, we have two kids that are under 2, which add to the most amazing part of our life, but also we don't want to miss out on that part of our life while we're doing this huge part of our life being our business, who's kind of our first and third kid. And so, yeah, luckily with the 2 of us, we have been able to weather those storms together. And when I'm feeling overwhelmed, he might not be, or he has more mental capacity to help take away my feeling of anxiousness or being overwhelmed. And same for him, that he knows I'm there for him too when he gets
support each other somehow.
Yeah.
What is your reset process when everything seems to go wrong?
Go outside. For me, it's having quiet time of just going for a run outside, going for a walk outside, pushing the kids in the stroller around the block, just putting my phone down, getting away from all the noise and distraction of the business and life, and going outside and just getting some fresh air. That's my reset process. Everything keeps moving, so it can't last very long, but just take a breath, go outside, and then reset.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. So if you had opportunity to rewrite your story, you would change something?
Yeah, I think where we have gotten is exactly where I would want to be.
Okay.
So I wouldn't change the the current position of our story. But there's definitely decisions along the way that I would have changed. You know, people that you hire, business decisions that get made, you know, customers that you bring on that end up being not great people. But I think each one of those challenges is also the reason why we are where we are. So I can't necessarily say that
Yeah.
I want to
Change
rewrite because I like where we are, but
I feel like everything that we've been through in life, either way, is it good or bad, has to happen for be who we are today.
exactly. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree
And
more with that.
I would say that every part of the overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
is like pushing the limit to you gotta move to the next thing, you know?
Yep.
Not like abandon
Mm-hmm.
the thing.
Yeah, I think we spend a lot of time in general thinking about the past and thinking about decisions that we've made, and I've really tried to change my perspective of we've made that decision, we're where we are, what can we do different in the future, or where are we going, like looking ahead rather than looking back as much as possible. Just to, like, you need all those experiences, like you said, to become the person and be in the place that you are, but you can only dwell on that for so long without it, hindering your ability to move forward.
Is there a specific wrong turn that you took and you still about to think it today?
So it's really hard to work with friends, and respecting the friend-work relationship. And we had, Gabe and I had two friends about 5 years ago that wanted to come and be a part of Common Fibers. And they did, and it was amazing. We did great things together, accomplished a lot of our goals very quickly. They were like-minded. Being in a smaller facility, constantly working together, long hours, lots of stress. The friend portion of the working relationship got really stressed. And they ended up leaving Common Fibers, and pursuing other goals, which at the time was great for them, but it also led to us not being friends anymore. And it's taken a long time for us to kind of come back to that friendship. And that's, I would say, one of my biggest regrets. It doesn't really have much to do with like where Common Fibers is, but for me as a person, I really missed that relationship and what we could have accomplished together as friends and in the business. They're doing well now, but I definitely regret not making more of an effort to communicate the challenges that we're going through and being able to work through it together. It was also during COVID. There was a lot going on, which just added to the stress. And I think I could have handled the situation better to help that friendship flourish instead of wither. So
yeah, I understand you because it happened to me the same. I have few friends, like I told the vision that I have at the beginning, and they didn't believe it. Some of them start like, oh, I want to help you, whatever, so I can see what you do. And they betray or whatever, and they go a different route. I understand that, so I don't like it either. I wish everyone can help together and grow.
Yeah.
It's not like a one-man job.
Yeah,
You need
exactly.
more people regardless, so it is what it is. So how do you handle the people who couldn't see the vision as clearly as you did?
Luckily, the person that needs to understand the vision the most is my husband, Gabe, business partner. And so, together, as we have haters or people who don't believe in what we're doing or think we're doing it wrong or should be doing it some other way, we've been able to just be strong together, and this is what we're doing, and this is how we're going to do it for now. I think you just have to be confident in the decisions that you're making, and there's always going to be people who think you're doing something wrong or it's not right or it should be done a different way or for a different reason. And you should hear it, take it all in. Don't let it fester or worry or change you in any way.
Yeah.
Because there are things that people say that are probably, they are true, and they are other reasons, and you should contemplate that, but be confident in the decisions and the direction and the goal, and just keep persevering. That, you know, there always will be downvotes and negative comments and people who just think you're wrong and bad and ugly and all those things, but you just need to be confident and keep treading forward.
And how do you build confidence when you are scared or unsure?
I think calling on the people that you trust, and knowing when to ask questions and to get help. I don't know everything, and you need to have confidence to have customers believe in you and want to work with you. But you also need to have some humility and know when you need to ask for help, or need to ask for advice on, business or materials or, any sorts of things.
When this transition from a small project to a next level vision, what was the catalyst for the growth?
For us, growth has always been led by a customer's need, and the quantity of customers that have come in. We've been so fortunate in basically all of our customers coming to us via Instagram or our contact form or phone calls. But our growth has been very organic in that, we started with some custom car components for race teams that were local who just happened to see a blog that we posted. Or it was, friends from college that went to work at some bigger company who wanted, some one-off, and we were the carbon fiber people because they knew we were building these cars in college. And that's sort of where it started. And then we started getting traction through our blog of, hey, we made these custom fenders for, this one project. And we posted that and had a few people reach out. It turned into, hey, can you make 5 of these? And it's like, yeah, we would much rather make 5 than make 1. And then someone would reach out and like, oh, well, we need something the size of this table. It's like, oh, well, we don't have a CNC that is that big. Like, can this project help us fund that? Are we in the position to do that? It's like, okay, yeah, let's get a bigger CNC. Oh, okay. We need to figure out how to make 10 of something now. Okay, well, what does that look like? Do we need a vacuum trim fixture? Yeah, okay, well, how do we do that? Let's look at YouTube videos of other people trimming things in other industries. And then it's just sort of led to more, going from wallets to super one-off custom things to I want 10 of something to now we want, 100 or 1,000 parts. And it's been organic growth that has guided us in, purchasing equipment or getting more employees or getting a bigger space. It's just sort of, are we maxed out at our capacity? Are we ready to make that next step? Okay, we have this project that, supports that next big decision.
What is your philosophy when it comes to leading your team? How do you keep everyone aligned to your vision?
So we have a few sets of, internal values at Common Fibers. And for us, I think the number one is families first, whether that's the Common Fibers family or your individual family, that everyone here knows that they're a part of this family. And your kid gets sick or your grandma passes away and you need time and you need to be with your family, there's no questions asked. Like, you need to go do that for you and your family. And I think the feeling of support and the feeling of, I would say, that freedom of not feeling like you're going to lose your job because you can't, be with your family on their darkest day, or maybe it's something silly like, my daughter's graduating from second grade. It's like, you need to be there for her. You need to do that. So I think our community and our culture here is very inclusive of that family feeling.
So when the deadline is looming and the stakes are high, what is your internal process to stay calm and get the job done?
Delegation and relying and trusting your team. That I know me as an individual, I operate well under pressure. You sort of need to, with everything. But, trusting your team and your process and showing the confidence to your team will only help with hitting those deadlines and making sure that, we hit the quality or hit the timeline or, I think it's not looking at just me. It used to be like, okay, well, we are the two that are getting it done. But now we have a team of people that, when push comes to shove, I know I can trust everybody out there to get it done.
How hard is setting boundaries for you?
Learning process. I think the hardest boundary is the work-life balance and setting a boundary to work. That being a business owner, work never stops, right? You can get phone calls at 2:00 in the morning from a customer or a vendor who's running out of something. And, now that we have a family, really, really doing a good job of when I leave here, turning work off, going home, being with the kids, and having, because of the limited time that we have in the afternoons with them when we come home from work, is just really focusing on them. And, we're not saving lives here. Someone who wants a grill for their truck can wait a day. And, at the beginning, it made sense that we had no boundaries. It was like, growing business, we're starting off, we need every customer, every good review that we possibly, can gather. We don't want to fail. Let's stay up all night and get this project done. Was absolutely necessary, but also created a habit that just continued. Like, oh yeah, of course we can do that. And it's like, do we really need to do that?
Yeah.
Probably not. And so, learning those boundaries with your customers and with yourself of,
It's a challenge.
It is. It's a huge challenge. And I haven't quite figured it out in in every aspect. I'm still attached to my phone, as we all are, but trying to be better about that when I go home with the kids. It's like, I don't want them to think of me as being on my phone all the time. That, no, put it down, set it down, focus on them for a little while. And, when they go to bed, then look if you want to, but just because you want to, not because you have to.
Yeah.
So
it is hard, but
boundaries are hard.
It's necessary though.
Absolutely.
How do you and your spouse cross paths first?
We met in college, building the super mileage car. So Gabe's a mechanical engineer, I'm a materials engineer. And we actually excuse me, we actually first met playing intramural soccer. That his roommate was on my soccer team, and he like stepped in one game when we needed an extra player. I don't actually remember that, but he's the first to remind me that that's actually where we first met. But
so he was looking at you way before.
Exactly. Yep. I just was, oblivious and wanted to win a soccer game, I guess. But so yeah, that's how we first met, was in college, and then we really got to know each other building that super mileage car, and building molds and problem solving as a team, and we had a friendship and we had a working relationship, so we knew we could luckily with each other, we could set those boundaries of business is business, and life and friendship is another thing. But when I make a decision here that you don't like, it doesn't mean that I don't like you off the field or at home. It's just we have to make decisions, and we have to leave the personal side of it aside when it comes to projects and business and stuff like that. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago now, just about.
You've been together 20 years?
No, well, not quite. I'm not doing math well enough. We met in 2009.
Okay.
So 16 years.
Kind of.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
we're closer to 20.
Yeah. So carbon fiber is often as a miracle material.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the dark side? What is the biggest headache or limitation that you deal with?
I think the biggest headache that we come up with is, sounds like I'm like diverting this question, but I think it's the inexperience and lack of understanding that our customers have of carbon fiber and of composites.
Okay.
That, it is a miracle material in its properties, but it also has limitations in how it can be formed and processed. And I think some people think that it's just like, oh, well, here's my injection molded plastic part, make it out of carbon fiber. And it's like,
do it fast.
And do it quickly. Yeah. And I don't want it to cost very much. It's like, well, no. But I think, the lack of understanding of our customers. And I think that's also what we really enjoy helping our customers through, is the understanding of what it is and the education on how to use it, and designing for manufacturing that, you don't have to just say no to, we absolutely can't make that, but hey, here are some small design changes that will make it easier to produce, cheaper to produce, producible in general. So I think just the lack of basic understanding of how to use it is the most frustrating part of carbon fiber. And that's part of like our Instagram and stuff. It's just like, hey, most engineers from bigger companies, I'll just say, will come in here and like have no idea that carbon fiber is even made out of mold. And you're like, where is your information coming from? Or like, YouTube carbon fiber, and you'll see like this is how it's made. But
a lot of people see the hydrographic.
The hydro dip.
I want this in this carbon fiber color.
Or the vinyl wrap.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How much? How many you want?
It's
in another place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So from the design to the finished product, which part of the process is a make or break moment for you?
Design and quoting. Yes, we can, I would say 99% of the time, figure out how to make something. But changing a design so that it is more manufacturable will make a project. And not quoting it appropriately will break a project for us, right? I mean, that's a business, but but I think the design is sort of the linchpin of the whole process. That you need to design molds that can be accessed and have appropriate radii and are tolerant. So when pieces come together, they actually fit. And, there's so much that goes into a design of a carbon fiber part that just has to be right. And that's
it's so much time consuming.
Yeah.
It take a lot.
Yep. And I feel like that's the place that we need to spend the most time, but people don't understand that part of it. They're like, oh, well, here's my blueprint, like just go make it. And it's like, okay, well, no, we need to make tools, and we need to make trim fixtures, and we need to make check gauges, and making sure that all of these things fit together. But that engineering cost, people think, well, I've already finished my design, now you can just make it. And it's not that simple.
Yeah. And it's hard to explain to them because they don't understand. They want the part right now, and that's it.
Yep.
After you finish talking, like they say, okay, cool, you can do it now.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God. I talk everything for nothing,
Exactly.
So I know the materials and the machines are essential for the job. But how much of your success you attribute to your people standing next to you?
100%. We could not do what we do without our employees and without the people that we're working with. Whether it's a vendor, an employee, a supplier, a customer, like the people are 100% a part of the process. You have a CNC machine, but you need to have someone that's writing the right cam so that it does the right thing. It's only going to do what you tell it to. Carbon fiber dry is an art form to get the weave to align and to not bridge and to not have snags and to be clean. And, it's not just, you're not just printing printing a part. It's all about the people.
That's amazing. So Common Fiber handles everything about from RD and 3D scanning to the final paint. Mm-hmm. Why did you choose a vertically integrated model?
So it sort of just happened to us. I would recommend it as a business model in general because you're not relying on other people's time frames and quotes and changes in their operations. But when you're coming up with new processes for how to do things all the time, you're learning, like we might be learning something in our paint department that we end up needing to change in layup so that it's easier for our paint department to paint parts. Like everything's so interconnected that, sending out tooling is maybe one thing that we could potentially choose to send to somebody else. If we specify what type of tool we want and how big of the flanges and the materials we want it made out of, like, okay, maybe. But at the same time, being able to have it in-house and see the plug that's being made and being able to say like, okay, well, you can see it on a CAD model, but actually physically seeing it, you can see like, oh, that's going to be really hard to make. And we want to be able to change that now versus somebody else might make the mold and we get it. And it's like, oh crap, well, we already have the mold. And now this is going to take 4 extra hours because of this one little thing that we could have changed in 10 seconds on the CNC machine. I think it works in our customers' favor that we're vertically integrated because they can say, hey, we want to make this thing, and we can make the mold, make the fixtures, make the part, paint the part, assemble the part, package it in their packaging and ship it out as if it was their product from us. But then they're not having to go to a tooling company and a paint company and, coordinate between all of these different people. It just is hugely beneficial, not only for the efficiency of making something, but also for our customers' own efficiency to just be able to say, hey, make this, and we can do every step of the process.
So you moved from craftsman to CEO. What traits do you think are absolutely essential to lead a company at this level?
It'll come back to patience and drive and the ability to see the bigger picture and weave all the strings together. I think that's my favorite part of running this business, is that I can look at all the pieces and I know the processes so well that I know that if Joe is working on X part, that Schmo needed to wax that mold at this point in the process, and that Robert's going to be sanding it next week, and like being able to just, weave all of those little pieces together I just get a huge kick out of that. I love that. And not everybody can delegate. It's hard to delegate, and it's hard to micromanage and multitask. I mean, it's basically like the ultimate in multitasking, of being able to move all of those little pieces around and
the right way, though.
And the right way. Yeah. Don't always get it right. I'm pretty good, but I don't always get it right, and I'm willing to admit that too.
But you learn every step, so it's cool. Yep. So you have worked with some incredible people and brands. Which partnership stands out as the one everything just clicked?
Ooh, that's tricky. Well, we've worked with so many different types of companies, from, we've done internal projects for Amazon. And, you've got this huge company who needed something very fast, and understood the iterative process, and that it cost a lot to do something quickly. And so like it clicked in that they understood what the process was. But they're this, huge corporation that doesn't operate as efficiently as we might. And then we have customers that click on a personality level, that it's just easy to call them up and have a conversation and make changes. And it's just like this really comfortable working relationship. But as far as like a single customer, I mean, there's always ups and downs and pluses and minuses to everybody. So okay. I don't have a great, I would say SSC has been the right combination of all of those things. There's been a lot of design and iteration over the years with them, and then we've gotten really close with their team. And I think we're chugging along now with production so that it feels like it's clicked finally. That sometimes it just takes a little while to get there, but I think we're there now.
Awesome. How has being in Boeing backyard influenced your quality control standards and your ability to attract top-tier engineering talent?
We went to school in California and knew that we wanted to move up here. My family happens to be from up here, but we also knew that with Boeing and SpaceX and Blue Origin and everybody who's up here, we had a lot of opportunity to pull talent and learn from, but also be a supplier if possible, if we got to that point. And I think with that in mind, we have definitely set up our processes to support their quality management systems. We aren't AS9100 certified yet. It's something that we've talked about, but we've been able to do some really cool things and work with some really top tier customers, even without it. And so I feel like, employees who have worked at Boeing or Boeing subsidiaries who do work here now, I think we attract them not only in the cool projects that we're working on, but that you're not just a part of a big machine, that you're actually getting to see every bit of the process and learn, I'm designing this widget, but seeing it actually move through the process is rewarding, versus I'm just designing this thing on CAD and pushing it out to the next person.
So yeah, you have everybody in your team know how to do every steps.
Part of our vertical integration is having all of our employees either actually have hands-on experience in every department or at least have an understanding of what everybody does. That there's some layup technicians that they'll only ever be layup technicians. Like they're really good at what they do, and trimming and assembling parts isn't something they're interested in.
Okay.
But, you know, as a business and how things ebb and flow in the industry, we are working on cross-training as many people as possible so that when we have a lot of tooling work, we know that 50% of our workforce could move into tooling and make beautiful, perfect molds. Or we've made all this tooling now, we need to make parts and we need to assemble them, and they're fully capable of doing those things as well. It's fulfilling from an individual perspective to be able to learn a bunch of different things and not feel like I'm the guy that comes in and stamps this one thing out and just does the same thing every day.
Yeah.
You know, there's efficiency that comes with that, but also repetitive, you know, okay, I'm kind of bored and losing interest in what I'm doing. So being able to move people around makes it more interesting.
If y'all told the younger version of you that you'll be here sitting today sharing your story to the world, can you believe it?
Yeah, I can believe it. I think I always had a vision of something similar. I didn't expect to reach it so soon. That we've been, again, so fortunate in our journey and the customers that we have that it's all happened a lot faster than I imagined. I mean, making a supercar is just like, oh my gosh, like mind blowing, right? And I just, if you told me at my 12-year-old self that that's what I would be doing in 20 years, be like, whoa, really? Okay, maybe in 40 years, like, okay, towards, you know, mid to end of my career, like being able to help design and build a supercar, like, okay, that might have made more sense or felt more reasonable. But again, like where we are is where we want to be. It happened a lot faster than
At what
we
age
thought.
it was the first time you started working with this?
I guess I would have been 18 is when we started working on like the super mileage cars and like really
very young
playing with carbon fiber.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It is dope, super dope. And we are back in Puerto Rico where like we like to race a lot, so have that would be great. Like, so I can't even imagine how you feel that moment. So what are the pros and cons of being in charge?
Pros are that you can make decisions quickly and autonomously. But con is definitely that all of the responsibility of those decisions are on you. That there's a lot of responsibility and pressure of, you know, hitting payroll every other week with 35 employees and making sure that that's prioritized versus, oh, I need to, you know, change the color of my logo today. Like, you know, there's big decisions and little decisions, but when it all falls on you and Gabe, which is nice having at least the two of us to like take that weight. But yeah, we can decide that we want to change our logo tomorrow, and it's like, yeah, we don't need a whole bunch of people to approve that change. That's definitely a pro. Just like, yeah, let's do it. But also, you know, something as silly as changing the color of your logo could, you know, have repercussions that now is fully your responsibility. So I don't know. Pros and cons.
Would you rather not be a CEO?
No, I think I am happy to be a CEO with a partner that we can joint make decisions. Like, it's kind of the right balance of like sharing the responsibility, but also just being able to have decision-making power. I think there's always something nice about having somebody else who's just a little bit more responsible than you are to like, you know, support you in your decision-making, or like, yeah, you did the right thing. And, you know, we've talked about, and it would be great to have like a technical board or a business board where we have a group of people that we consistently go to like, hey, we are making this decision. Do you agree with it? Like, there's ways of doing that without like getting rid of our CEO, you know, status. But in our business, I definitely wouldn't want to change my role at all.
You guys enjoy a lot working together. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
How it feels stepping into the unknown?
I feel like every day is almost stepping into the unknown, where it's like, yeah, you just never know. I think over the years you build up more and more confidence in being able to do it, right? Of just like, you know, I talked earlier about just taking that first step. I feel now way more confident in stepping into the unknown and just like, hey, we're going to try this and like, you know, see what happens. It's sort of like gambling. Like, I'm not a gambler. I don't like the idea of gambling, but like the business is an everyday gamble of, you know, is this new material going to work? Is this new employee going to work? Is this new process, this new customer? Like, it's all a big gamble. So I think you just get more comfortable stepping into the unknown.
Every step you get better, I think.
Yeah, I think so. You just feel more comfortable doing it and being able to pivot and being able to take what comes at you with patience and with a background in experience, and just sort of go with the flow.
Yeah. So let's say we have like a time machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you could sit down for a coffee with yourself 20 years ago,
Okay.
what is that one piece of wisdom or a warning you would give to that younger version of you?
Learn to be a better communicator. I communicate to myself in my head all the time, where I'll talk through things and stuff, but I think I could definitely be a better communicator to, you know, to Gabe and to our friends in the past, of actually speaking what's on my mind and feeling comfortable doing so. I mean, I'm confident and comfortable in making decisions and like doing things, but it's also really helpful to communicate your feelings and why you're doing things. And it's a constant road of growth for me of just, hey, take that second and explain yourself or communicate how you're feeling about something. Because it gives everybody else more perspective on where you're coming from. And I think, you know, you'll build stronger relationships and healthier relationships with having that more open communication instead of just talking through it in your head and then being quiet.
I'd say the communication is key to success.
Yep.
With every relationship.
Yeah.
Either way, father, family, it doesn't matter, but it's the key. Have that power to talk with confidence and like what you have in your mind, you know, with your feelings.
Yep.
Not to stay quiet and say, nah, I'm taking another day and then pass away or whatever.
Yep. Yeah.
So, all right. So in this industry, it's a lot of math and data. But how often do you ignore the numbers and just go with your intuition?
I would say more intuition than math in a lot of sense. Especially early on with composites, there's not a lot of data to design with, as far as, ply thicknesses and stack ups and weave orientation and processing parameters and all kinds of different things, right, that go into the making of a part. And I think at the beginning, we tried to do a lot of calculating and testing. And now that we've done it for so long and have seen so many different parts and different customers with different requirements, that now it's a lot of just intuition, that, even Boeing builds a part and breaks it before they say, yes, that's our design. Yeah. Like, let's make sure it does what we think it's going to do. Because composites behave, so differently than a hunk of 6061 aluminum, right? Yeah. Like, that is heat treated to this spec, and there's tons of ASTM standards on how it was tested, and that's what it's going to do, right? Like, composites isn't quite like that. And how it's laid up, the type of resin that you use, like, there's so many. I mean, it's the beauty of composites is that there's so many different things that you can throw into a mold to make it do different things, but also it means there's really no data to like support your decision. You just kind of have to try it and then test it and trust the numbers.
Yeah. So what is your secret to keeping your head clear and your emotions in check when everything is on fire moments?
I think it's taking a breath and taking a second before you handle the first fire. Even yesterday, we had multiple customers call needing parts. We had vendors with materials that were late to arrive to us. We had, employee things happening, people not showing up, and you just have to take the first, take a breath. What's the highest priority thing on this huge list? Start at the top. Let's just work on the one thing and get it done, or delegate it and say that one thing's covered. And then just be, at least for me, it's being regimented in hey, is that the highest priority thing? If not, let's just put it aside and get back to it later, because it can be hugely overwhelming when you're looking at all these different things. And it's well, no, that's the most important one. Let's hit that one first. And then that's the next one. Okay. And then you can actually accomplish something. So by the time the day's done, you're okay, I actually did something instead of just spritzing on the fire. I hosed out a chunk of it, that's not coming back. Great.
Yeah. What is the one moment you will step back and say, we actually did it?
I think that moment's coming.
Awesome.
I think, there's been steps along the way where it's man, we did that. That's cool. But I think, the last 15 years has been finding the right team, finding the right customers, setting up the right processes, getting into the right facility, all of those little pieces that, each little win is yeah, okay, we did that. Cool. Yeah, we did that. Cool. And I think to be honest, I think the point, that I will know that I've done my job is if I go on vacation for a week and my schedule is met, right? Everything's there. The processes are working, things ship, everybody knows what they're doing. I've done my job setting everybody else up that I don't need to be here. Okay. Not that I don't want to be here, but I think that for me is the I did it. And I haven't had that yet. It's coming. I think it's coming. I think we're close. We've got the right people, the right customers. Things are turning. And
so when you have the baby, it was tough, huh?
Yeah. Well, running your own business, we don't get paid leave. So with our first kid, Gabe and I had a week off of pretty much no phone and computer. You know, we put out a few fires when we needed to. And then Gabe went back to work after week number 2. And I was on the computer after week number 2. And then came back to work after a month. Which, you know, it felt like a huge vacation, but we're definitely working through it. Yeah. And then second baby, he was born in January of this year. Yeah. He came a little early, and our daughter was sick in the hospital, so we didn't have as much time to prep. So he was born on Saturday, and I was back on the computer on Monday, and Gabe was at work on Monday. So we had 2.5 days off. Wow. But we have a ton of family support that helped us through the process. So, he's here in the other room, and my mom's watching him, and things are getting done. But it definitely was a challenge, and it wasn't like we got to just be home and enjoy the babies while they were babies. We were here enjoying them. Yeah.
So what is the single most terrifying leap of faith you had to keep your dream alive?
I mean, there's been a couple moments of, even last year, the economy wasn't what we thought it was going to be halfway through the year. Needed to dip big into savings to keep the business going until customers came back around. So it's kind of a constant struggle of, not constant. It happens, once every 3 or 4 years of is there enough to make this a business? I think now we're established with good customers and everything, that things are really flowing and feel comfortable. But COVID was should we just be done? I don't know. This is our dream. We want to keep doing this, but if it's not a business and we can't produce things, then what are we going to do? I think we had already started our dream. But in college, the Kickstarter was sort of our, is this going to be, if we are funded on Kickstarter, then we have a business. If we're not funded on Kickstarter, well, okay, then we're going to go get jobs at, engineering jobs, I'm guessing, at some big company. And that's not really what we want to do. So we really just jumped in and made sure that we just poured literally everything we had, blood, sweat, and tears, into making sure our Kickstarter was successful and making sure that we fulfilled on our Kickstarter, so that, all those people knew that they could trust Common Fibers, because that really set the basis for our business as to what it is today.
And you have spoke about the open books philosophy. Mm-hmm. To grow composite, how does sharing knowledge benefit Common Fibers, especially in a competitive field?
It has benefited us in that our customers that have come to us from Instagram know how we're doing things, and trust that we're doing them right because they're watching it happen. Every project and customer is a little different. So what we show on Instagram might not be what exactly we're doing, for this other part, because there are shapes and materials and things that we can't share. But the underlying process and those fundamentals of this is how we do it, and, leak tests, there's just different things that our sharing of knowledge confirms that we have the knowledge for our customers. So I think it's us showing that we're confident in what we're doing, and our customers seeing that and feeling confident in us being able to do what they're wanting us to do. But it's not necessarily that we don't directly benefit other than I think if the whole industry is better as a whole, then it's a rising tide that we're all getting better together. And that can't hurt, right? Like,
I agree.
If we're helping you do something, or we're helping some college student make a project come to life, you never know what they're going to go do or become. And that could come back to help us.
Somehow.
Maybe not. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it's worth it either way for us.
So we all have those I would never moments, you know. What is one thing you swear you will never do it and then become a central part of your life?
Oh. Do you have an example of, for you, what that was?
I'll give you my example.
Okay.
So way before I started working with carbon fiber, I paint my motorcycles and rims and all that.
Uh-huh.
And I hate sanding.
Okay.
So I say I will never sand in my life.
Uh-huh.
Look at me right now.
Yeah. Oh, and you got to do a lot of sanding with carbon fiber.
So yeah.
Okay. That I don't know.
You don't have this cool?
I think it's just like everything that we do is so essential to the whole process that even if I don't like that I have to do it, you still have to do it. I mean, like sanding, I don't really like to trim fiberglass molds. All the fiberglass dust in the air, that's pretty nasty, but it's also par for the course. I don't know.
So,
sorry.
No, you're good. So you have achieved so much already. What is your next mountain you want to climb?
We would like to develop our own line of parts. I think that will be our next adventure within Common Fibers. That, we build a lot of stuff for other people. And that comes with its own challenges. But I think internally as a team, we want to come up with what is our thing. And I think there's a few different avenues that we've explored there. But I think bringing parts internal, we've talked about having a storefront for projects that our employees are passionate about, that, we have dirt bike enthusiasts, we've got, mountain bikers, we've got guys with their tinker cars, we've got, disabled, or making parts for disabilities, for different employees. They all everyone has an idea of what they would like to make, but if we can make a platform to be able to help support their goals, is something that I think we would really like to achieve. That if we can, again, help our employees achieve their goals and see their passion become bigger, it might not necessarily grow Common Fibers, but it grows all of us as individuals.
Yeah. So this question is the most I like.
Okay.
So let's say if you had a billboard that everyone in the world could see it for one day, what would be your message?
I would say that you are blessed every day. You just need to notice it. That you could be blessed in waking up that day. That could be the small win that you take. You could be blessed with a phone call that is, a customer, the biggest customer that you could ever see walk through the door could be a phone call. But I think we take for granted the small things in our life and how we're blessed. And so I think everyone should take a moment and look at that day and see how you were blessed that day. So
That's awesome.
I think that would be.
We are aligned, man. Because I told him yesterday the same thing. Like, if you wake up and you are breathing, you are a miracle. You know, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like I said. So it's awesome. And with that, it's everything I have for
Awesome.
you. I really like it. I enjoy the vibe, everything.
Cool. I'm glad that this worked out, and we're so happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So you guys know, follow, subscribe, comment down below if you like it. Common fibers and carbon concept. See you till the next. Oh, hold on. I forgot. I'll bring something for you, Gabe. So I know he's not here. Gracias. Porque se me olvidó.
Sí, no, ahí.
So this is for Gabe and this is for you. And because I have my brand, you know, I got jersey, motocross pants, and I see your Instagram, so you ride scooters or something?
Yeah, we got little Honda scooters. I
Yeah.
love them. That's so
Every time we
cool.
go. So
Oh,
you and Gabe
nice.
enjoy.
Hey.
I got the picture.
Ahora sí.